Hello students! In this video, we are going to revise about collecting like terms and substitution. Well, first, as a reminder, we know that terms are expressions, algebraic expressions, separated from one another by plus or minuses. So, for example, we have two examples here. The first one, 3m minus x plus 8. So here we can see that the terms are separated by plus or minuses. So then in this case, we actually have 1, 2, and 3 terms. Okay? So this algebraic expression actually contains 3 terms. And remember, the sign of a certain term is always in front of it. So here we have a negative x and a positive 8. Okay? Right. So the next one, in the next example, we have 1, this is the first term, negative 5k. The second term is positive m squared. The third term is positive 6n, and the fourth one is negative 3 minus 3. So then we have, in this algebraic expression, 4 terms in total. So, all right, so what are like terms now? Like terms are terms that have the same letters with the same exponents. Again, terms that have the same letters with the same exponents. So we will look at some examples in the next slide. So here on the left-hand side, we have like terms, and on the right-hand side, not like terms. So you can compare them. Here we have 2x and 5x. Both of them have x as letters, and the x has the same exponent. In this case, only just 1. Okay? And here, they are not like terms. 2x and 5y, they are not like terms because they do not have the same letters. The second row, we have xy and 6yx. Why are they like terms? This one is xy, this one is yx. Well, the order doesn't really matter as long as you have the same letter with the same exponent. So here we have x with the same exponent, which is 1, and we have y with the same exponent, which is 1. So therefore, they are like terms. Does it matter whether we have only 1 xy here and 6 xy's over there? No, it doesn't really matter. The same here, 2 x's and 5 x's, the 2 and the 5 are not really the problem. As long as we have the same letters with the same exponents, then we are fine. Then they are like terms. Here, x and 6yx, they are not like terms. This term has y and x, and the other term here has only x, so we do not have exactly the same letters, so they are not like terms. Okay? All right, so here we have the same letter x, and both of them have exponent 2. So this is x squared and x squared, and therefore they are both like terms. Here we have x, and here we also have x. However, this one is x squared, so exponent 2, and this one is only x exponent 1. So therefore they do not have the same exponent, and therefore they are not like terms. So you can collect only like terms. Collecting means you are putting them together. You're just combining them. And we can only do so if the terms are like terms. So for instance, here in this case, 2x plus 5y. You cannot add them because they are not like terms. So what is the result if we have 2x plus 5y? Well, we cannot do anything. So we will just leave it like that. It's just 2x plus 5y. We cannot simplify it further. However, if we have 2x plus 5x, for instance, then we can think about it as, well, you have 2 x's and 5 x's. Let's say, imagine algebra tiles. You have 2 pieces of x tiles and 5 pieces of x tiles. If you put them together and collect them together, then you will have, so we have 7x, 7 times x. Okay? All right, so in the next one, the last example, we have 2m plus 3n plus 4m plus n. So obviously, they are not all like terms. So we have to kind of separate them. We know now that there are terms in this case, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So then what we will do, we are going to separate them. Right, so here 2m and plus 4m are like terms. And 3n, positive 3n and plus n are also like terms. So in that case, when we want to put them together, so can you guess what will happen? We will have 2m and add 4m, so we will have 6m. And then plus 3n and plus n together, we will have plus 4n. So in the end, this will be the result. You have 6m plus 4n. I think this is quite clear how we can collect like terms and that we can only collect like terms. In the next slide, we are going to do something else. We will do a substitution. We have done this in class as well. However, this is just a reminder. So as an example here, let's say the value of A is 5, the value of B is 4, and C is 6, and we are supposed to evaluate what the value is of the expression 3A, so 3 times A, minus BC, which is B times C. All right, so we will try that. The first thing I'm going to do is just to write exactly as it is underneath here, 3 times A minus B times C, but then I will replace them one by one. So A is 5. I'm going to put a bracket. Remember when you put numbers next to each other and you mean to multiply it, you can also write it this way with bracket. And this just means 3 times A, so 3 times 5 in this case. And then we have the value of B is 4. And the value of C is 6. So in this case, of course, we have to consider the order of operation. Right, there is subtraction here, and there is clearly multiplication 3 times 5 and multiplication 4 times 6. So we have to do all of those multiplications first. 3 times 5 is 15. And then 4 times 6 is 24. So therefore, when we subtract 15 subtracted by 24, then we will have negative 9 as a result. So the value of 3 times A minus B times C with the given values of the variables here will give us minus 9. Right, in this next example, we will have A times in the bracket B minus C, and the values of those variables are also given. So in this case, the same thing as before, I'm just going to write down exactly as it is and just replace the numbers. So A is 2, so let's say here I'll just write 2. B is 5. And here I have to be a little bit careful. We subtracted by the value of C, is negative 3. So here I'm only replacing the yellow part, the yellow C there, with negative 3, which is its value, which is given here. So now when we try and work it out, we have to be a bit careful. Of course, there is multiplication here and there is bracket, which is grouping. Remember gamma. So grouping has to be done first. This bracket, we have to somehow find the value first. And I see here subtract negative. So these two signs next to each other, we can loop it. I hope you still remember from the integer unit. And the two negative sign next to each other, we can loop it and replace it by only plus. So in this case, it means in the bracket, I have to work out 5 plus 3, and 5 plus 3 is 8. So from here, last step is to multiply 2 times 8. So therefore, we get the value of the whole expression with the given values of the variable. We will have the final result 16. This is our last example. And we have only two variables, A and B. A is 15 and B is negative 3. So I will try and first write down, okay, whatever it is which is fixed. And the value of the variable I'm going to write down now. A is 15 and B is negative 3. So sometimes we can put bracket just to show that we are substituting the value by the number in the bracket. So we are substituting the variable by the value here. So the bracket shows that we are substituting its value. All right, so what do we have here now? Which one should we do first? We have subtraction. We have in the bracket negative 3. We have exponent. Well, of course, normally you look at the bracket first, but here there is no operation inside the bracket. We are just told that this is a negative 3. So meaning the next thing we have to do is exponent. So we have to first do this exponent negative 3 squared. And remember, there is a bracket here. So meaning I have to square negative 3, multiply it by itself. So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. So this is what I will do first. Negative 3 times negative 3 give me positive 9. Okay? Right. And the next thing, there is 15 subtracted by 2 times 9. So of course I will have to do the multiplication first, 2 times 9. So we will have 15 subtracted by 2 times 9, which is 18. Okay? And as the last step, we have to subtract 15 by 18, which will give us negative 3. So final result is negative 3. It's not so hard, right? So now you can practice online. Go to Manga High if you know your login detail. If you do not know your login detail, then you can do a couple of transum practices. You can look on its learning and find the links to those exercises. Good luck!